We're back to Prime News on HLN. President Barack Obama will address Congress in a few hours. Now, it's not a State of the Union speech, but just as important. Some say more important. A new poll shows nearly 3 out of 4 Americans are scared about the way things are going. They are looking to the president now for some hope. Let's bring in our Prime News correspondent, Rochelle Carey. By the way, good to have you back. All right, a lot of folks are wondering, they're going to sit down tonight. What can they expect to hear?
They want him to hope it up, as they say, Mike. Hope it up. But his aides say that he's going to focus on the economy, lay out what he plans to do to lift us out of this financial crisis. That is a big task. You're going to hear him talk about living within our means. How about that? Obama says that he plans to cut the country's deficit in half by the end of his first term. Says he'll try to strike a positive tone with a strong, hopeful message that this country has a history of meeting challenges head on and that he expects that we'll come out of this a better, brighter America. Go to CNN.com to join the discussion on the nation's economy on Facebook. Mike, how about that?
Yeah, cool way to experience this with your friends as he speaks, and everyone's going to want to chime in. You know, and a lot of people are going to be anxious about what they hear in the speech tonight. We want to know, what does the president have to say to get our confidence back up? Consumer confidence is low. We need confidence. That's huge. Let's bring in our experts on this, and we are taking your calls, by the way, at 1-877-TEL-HLN. Joining us, former investment banker, radio talk show host. He is the watchdog on Wall Street. Chris Markowski. Get more info, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Also with us, real estate analyst and author Danny Babb. And joining us, we welcome back CNN chief business correspondent Ali Velshi, author of the book, Give Me My Money Back. And again, call in, 1-877-TEL-HLN. All right, Ali, let's start with you. Primetime speech to Congress. Millions are going to be watching. People want hope now. Yep. What's the president's focus now? What does he have to do?
Well, Rochelle put it clearly. He needs to hope it up. This administration did a fantastic job of something that the last administration didn't do, and that was tell you how bad the situation really was. In fact, President Obama has been so effective at it that markets have gone down further. Consumer confidence is now even lower when he came into office. Now, I'm not blaming the administration from it. I'm saying that you have to balance those dire warnings about how serious things are, which allow people to prepare for these bad situations we're in, with some sense that we are in charge. This administration is on the case. We've had a bit of a mystery with the Treasury Secretary, who everybody has high hopes for, but has kind of disappeared. We need this administration to be very, very clear on what they're going to do to get us out of this in the short term and the long term. So you're going to need hope, but you're going to need specifics.
Okay, guys, I want to read an excerpt. We're just getting in some excerpts from the president's speech. I'll read this, and then, Chris, I'll get your take on it. Here's what we can expect to hear tonight, part of it anyway. But while our economy may be weakened and our confidence shaken, though we are living through difficult and uncertain times, tonight I want every American to know this: we will rebuild, we will recover, and the United States of America will emerge stronger than before. Chris, again, that's the pep talk side of things that we're going to hear. Can what Barack Obama says tonight have immediate effects on the economy, i.e. the stock market, immediate boost?
Well, I think that, you know, hoping it up is one thing. I think we have to stop using the word catastrophe over and over and over again and get some of those animal spirits that Robert Shiller is actually writing about right now back into the system. But I don't think that Barack Obama needs to say, I'm going to, you know, lift the whole thing up myself. I think he needs to place this back on small businesses, corporate America, to lift us out of it. I think that one of the problems we're seeing, and one of the reasons why the markets are going down, is that everyone's looking to Washington, D.C. to solve the problems. They're not able to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it here all across America and get Americans back excited about this country, investing and doing the things and taking risk which they've been avoiding.
Gotcha. Okay, let's get a call in, and then I'll get Danny in on the conversation. But first, Matt in Virginia. Matt, your comment or question here? Matt? Hey, go ahead. You're up.
I was just going to say, I want to hear specifics, like what is he going to do to help? I mean, I know they're talking about, you know, stimulus plan and $75 billion for housing plan and stuff like that, but how's that going to help me? I mean, is there a number I can call, a website? I mean, how's that going to come my way to help me out?
Okay. Matt, thanks for the call. A couple things to pick up on there. One, you mentioned housing. I'm going to bring in Danny Babb, again, real estate analyst here. Danny, what do you want to hear as far as the housing industry goes? Because that's a huge linchpin in this economy, obviously.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think that consumers need to know when their house price is going to stabilize. Unfortunately, economists cannot predict that. So what they're going to need, what they're going to want to know to feel some confidence here is how all of this money that's being spent towards banks, bailouts, you know, spending plans, et cetera, is actually going to feed into back to them and actually stabilize their home price, how spending $1 in $10 of taxpayer money just in interest alone on what we're spending right now in debt is actually going to play out in the long run, and how helping banks and all of these programs like the $75 billion housing plan that was announced this last week, how that's actually going to help individual specific people. And the caller made an excellent point in that right now a lot of people are asking, well, these plans are out there, but how do I get to them? How do I, do I need to contact my bank? Do I need to contact Fannie and Freddie? And how do I do that?
Yeah, we're going to pick up on that point. It's a great one. And he asked for what kind of specifics are we going to hear? We'll bring that up. How specific should the president get tonight? And what can we expect to hear on that front? And we're going to take more of your phone calls. 1-877-TEL-HLN. Welcome back. This is Prime News on HLN, continuing our conversation about what we can expect to hear from President Barack Obama tonight as he addresses Congress. Obviously, a lot of his speech is going to deal with the economy and how we can turn things around as a nation. We have our experts standing by. We're taking your phone calls. I want to bring in our CNN chief business correspondent, Ali Velshi. Ali, I talked to Danny about it before the break, the housing industry. What is Barack Obama's plan right now? So, folks, go ahead.
They have two plans. One is a refinancing plan for people who whose home may be 100 to 105%. The mortgage might be just a little higher than the value of the home, and it allows you to refinance at a fixed rate, for 30 years. The other one is a more serious plan. It's a loan modification plan for people who are underwater by as much as 50%, which means your home may be worth $100,000, your mortgage is $150,000, and they'll refinance you into a rate that is as low as 2% for 5 years, and then it'll move up to the current rates, which are about 5%. But you have to have a conforming loan, which means it has to be under a certain limit, and it has to be owned or guaranteed by Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae. And the way to find out about that is to call your bank. So the first step always, if you're looking to see what can happen, is to call your bank. Then you go to housingandurbandevelopment.gov, HUD.gov. I don't want to hear from the president specific details about who qualifies tonight. I think Chris makes a good point. We do have to take some responsibility, but businesses are really struggling right now. We need credit to start flowing again, and we need the third leg of this program. We've got stimulus, we've got housing. We're still waiting to see what happens with the banks. That's what's crushing these markets right now. Yeah. The president needs to combine hope with some specifics and some, and I think some encouragement.
Okay, we're taking calls, also emails. I want to get to one from Richard in Orlando, Florida, writing this. You want to improve the economy? Stop giving the large corporations these quarterly stimulus packages, which is only putting us further in debt. Stimulus packages are not working because companies keep borrowing more than they can pay back. Chris Markowski, in your radio show, is that the sentiment of a lot of people?
Yeah, I guess Rick Santelli started a bit of a buzz last week, and it's carrying on through. There's no doubt about it. See, I'm under the belief that, recessions are necessary. It's part of capitalism. It's kind of like the lymphatic system of our bodies. And I'm sure Danny can attest, too. I mean, you can get down to Southwest Florida, and we've got empty condo buildings as far as the eye could see. And, flippers got involved with a lot of this stuff. These people need to be foreclosed upon. I suggest investing in bulldozers and wrecking balls to help the housing market and knocking some of these things down. We need to flush all this stuff out of the system. We need to take a little bit of pain, and when we do that, we'll move on. Okay,
Danny, I want to give you, this is probably going to wrap things up for us, but I'm going to give you a final word on what Chris is talking about there, and what's the best plan. Ali kind of laid out the president's plan on housing. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it is a supply issue. Absolutely. We have too much inventory on the books. We keep hearing that, builder startups are at an all-time low. Thank God they're at an all-time low. That's exactly what we need to remove inventory off the books. We need to let people, I'm sorry, this sounds really bad, but there are a lot of people out there that just flat out cannot afford a home. There's a lot of them out there to rent and would be better off renting a home. We need to let the private sector work this out. And I think that one thing also very important, there's the Small Business Administration loan value, the amount of money they've got to lend right now is going to be at a record high. And that is fantastic for entrepreneurs that want to start a business, take things into their own hands, and pounce on an economy when it recovers.
Yeah, and Ali hit it. Let's get some of that money flowing so we can get businesses cranked up again. All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Danny Babb, Chris Markowski, and Ali Velshi. Ali, of course, authored the book, Give Me My Money Back. Guys, appreciate it.